Welcome back to Ill Estate Podcast. This is the realest and illest real estate podcast out there. And today I've got from the Kamal Chohan group, the legend himself, Kamal Chohan. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Chris? Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Dude, I'm excited, man. How long have we known each other?
I would say, 5 years, maybe?
At least 5 years,
Five
yeah.
or something.
Crazy, dude.
Going back, what a ride.
How have things been in not just your real estate world, but your personal life? How are things going, bro?
Very interesting. Lots of stuff, lots of ups and downs. But I would definitely say it's getting better and better. I would say slowly over time, but things have been exciting.
Yeah.
A lot on the family side, a lot on the business side. Trying some different avenues, different things. So overall, it's been really good.
So, you're a native to the Inland Empire. Have you always lived in the IE?
No, so I moved to the Inland Empire 3 years ago during COVID. I'm one of those assholes with a 2.875 interest rate. So
yeah, boy,
for that one. I originally came from.
But did you buy high?
Yeah.
Did you buy high?
No, I did not.
Oh, so you got it clean.
Dude, I got a great deal. I got a great deal. So
okay.
Yeah, no, man, I lucked out. Before this, I grew up in Orange County, actually, in Fountain Valley.
guy. Okay, nice.
City called Fountain Valley. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's top 25 safest cities in the country.
So you weren't throwing up the FVs?
Dude, I sometimes,
okay,
dude. Yeah, depending on.
Gotta
the
rep
age.
the hood, bro.
Yeah, anyone under 65 was getting the signs, but over 65, not so much, dude. Yeah, I wanted to keep it exciting.
Oh man, dude. So you went from OC to the Inland Empire. Do you miss the OC? Are you happy where you're at in the IE, bro?
Oh, dude, every day. That's a great question. I think my wife and I talk about this all the time. So definitely different worlds. I miss the fact of being able to jump in my car, going to the beach, making sandcastles with my daughter.
Yeah.
I miss the eateries. I had a couple of places in Orange County that were like staples.
Give me one. Give me one of your favorite joints.
For example, John's Philly Cheesesteak on PCH.
Sounds
right.
awesome.
So, man, great. It was Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. It was his favorite place outside of Philadelphia.
What's it called?
John's Famous Grill.
Well, how about a shout out to John's Famous Grill?
There you go.
Bringing up the Kobe.
Dude, the next time the works, hopefully it's on you guys. But yeah, man, you do that with they're like buffalo hot sauce on top. It's just delicious.
Lights
piping
out.
hot, burn your mouth, but that's just part of the flavors.
So you've been out in the IE then for just about 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years.
So any favorite joints out in this area?
I'm still doing some digging. I think I found a couple places. I have a sushi spot I like around here. It's called Hans Sushi. Hans in Corona. That one's pretty good. They do like an all-you-can-eat thing, but my wife and I would like going because you buy 3 rolls, you get the 4th free.
I love a good coupon.
Nice. Dude, me too, bro. It's a good value.
Let me tell you something.
Just makes it taste better.
Coupons, I don't know what happened, but they just disappeared on us, dude.
Seriously.
I remember when I was a youngster, dude, I'd help my mom just open up that Sunday and just start clipping away.
Oh, man.
And I used to think it was such a bitch. I don't want to
hunt.
Yeah, I don't want to scissor a bunch of newspapers, but now it's like when your parents play that old music, you're like, I don't want to listen to this, and now you're like, that's all you listen to.
You feel it in the heart.
You're just like, oh yeah, it comes.
Where's
out.
my Kleenex? Yeah.
Now it's like I'm a sucker for a good coupon.
Hell yeah.
I'm a sucker for a good coupon. All right,
Absolutely.
so Han Sushi out in the IE.
Han Sushi is that's our pretty regular.
Is that
place.
is that your favorite type of food?
No, it's not favorite. I think I definitely, when it comes to favorite, like there's this one place called I'm a big fan of birria tacos. Birria. Sorry.
I was gonna say. Listen,
my bad.
I'm not Hispanic, but my partner.
Melanin shouldn't allow that to happen.
The other half of Ill Estate is Hispanic, and
some birria tacos.
He corrects me every time. It's
Right.
birria.
The queso birria tacos.
I nail it now. I nail it now, bro. It's birria.
Oh, es perfecto. Es
Birria.
muy bien.
Have you been to a place called Sumabi?
No, not yet.
Okay, look.
Not yet.
I'm going to tell you right now. There's a shout out to Sumabi and the
Shout out.
owners, the staff there, the chefs. So it's just right out down the street.
Okay.
It's in Norco.
All right.
Off of Maine.
Okay.
This is Maine.
Okay.
And they do sushi rolls, which is lights out.
Okay.
But they also do birria.
Damn.
And you have like literally the best of both worlds in that
Damn.
joint. So Definitely check that place. It's really,
Hell
really
yeah.
good.
All right,
Really,
we'll check it out. How about this? Why don't we go check it out together?
Why don't we set up a Taco Tuesday
Oh, damn. All
and
right.
go smash up some sumabi?
All right. Well, maybe, depending on how I do today, maybe your viewers want to see me again. Maybe they don't. But.
Listen, you're an attraction. That's why we have you. You're an attraction.
My man.
So let's get into a little bit of business.
All right,
I don't
let's
want
do it.
I don't want to hit you with the same old bullshit. Oh, hey, what are you seeing today? Let's go the opposite direction.
Okay.
What are you not liking right now?
Oh, man. Okay. So I think, there's something that, if something is a square, you can't really make a circle fit into it. And I think I'm seeing that. I'm seeing a template type approach that everybody is taking. And it's worked before, and it should work for the next 1,000 years. The one thing that I'm seeing is a lot of technology now coming into place. I'm a huge believer in social media. One thing that I am noticing or that I am seeing is things are changing very quickly. And as we know, there's 3 things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and change. So the one thing that I'm seeing is people that are using the template approach to something that should be very fluid. And there's no question that there is a lot of changes. Everyone's been hearing about lawsuits. Let's pretend, and which I think is going to happen. Nothing is going to change, but there's one thing that is changing, and that's people's psychology. Whether it's true or not, the people are thinking what it is or it isn't. So I think definitely the way to do things now is you have to be able to definitely attract, and you have to be able to connect with the next generation that's coming up. And that's what I'm trying to do in my business. I've adopted things like posting on TikTok a little bit more. And it's funny because a lot of boomers will talk a bunch of garbage on TikTok and, what do you want? And it's a bunch of dances. I'm on it because that's where my future buyers are. That's where my future sellers are. So, it definitely the template, and that could be even with splits. Big Block Realty, shout out to you guys.
Holla at your boys.
100% commission, no splits. Big Block got it right. Big Block understood. I think Big Block is definitely ahead of its time. I think Big Block is ahead of its curve. The reason is I just think a lot of agents are so used to doing what they're used to doing that they don't exactly see it yet. But like anything, the mother of all inventions is necessity. So I think what's going to happen is coming in the next couple of months, you're going to get a lot of agents that are going to realize that their corner is becoming smaller and they're going to be more tight fit into their back against the wall. And then they're going to start getting more creative and other things like that. And then a light bulb is going to eventually one day hit in their head where they're going to say, dude, Big Block was and is the best choice for me.
It's crazy for the shout out. Thank you.
Of course.
And appreciative.
I mean it.
But for the viewers out there, just to show a little bit of genuinity, just so they know, are you currently a Big Block agent?
So that's the funny part. I'm going to be very transparent with you guys because I always keep it very honest, just like you, Chris.
Yeah.
I was with Big Block. I left Big Block to go for the glitz and the glamour, if you will.
Hold on. Glitz and glam. You're not the only one that chases a glitz and glam. You're not the only one.
Correct.
In your world, what was glitz and glam? What was that to you?
Oh, perfect. That's a great go. So, number one, leads.
Yeah.
Leads. We'll give leads. I'll tell you, there's something about leads, right? Because I'll get back to that really quick. But with the leads, I mean, technically, I can grab 1,000 leads from my title rep, and it would maybe be the same quality of what these brokerages are promising. For me, it was leads. For me, it was being more involved in the thinking process, the future direction of where the brokerage was going. For me, it was just being more on social media, being more promoted that way, just being more of a cornerstone of their business where they're investing back what I'm putting in. That to me was more of kind of the glitz and glam that I was really going for.
But see, that's fair. And if you don't know, right, because as a broker owner, I always think it's got to be leads or it's got to be something promised that really may or may not exist. A lot of the times it doesn't exist, right? And now my position isn't so much that agents go to certain brokerages for, we'll call it glitz and glam. I always question wherever you're going, and this isn't directed at you, this is directed at everybody. Wherever you're going to go, you know, when you buy something, you get a receipt, right? I go to the store, I spend $1,000 on a pair of shoes. When I go, 3 days later going, shit, I just lost $1,000. What I spend $1,000 on, I have a receipt that says Oh, you bought shoes. Okay, $1,000 spent. I got an item. I'm good. And now in 2023 specifically, I just ask agents, listen, I don't know what your split is. I don't know what your cap is, but I know you're paying. And I know you're not getting 100%. My question is, when you, at the end of the year, when you tally up all the money that you have spent, what does it say on your receipt? What did you get back?
There you go, yeah.
Was it worth the $16,000, the $20,000, the $22,000, or for those that didn't hit that cap, was it worth that 20% coming out of your paycheck? Did you receive something? And I think that, to me, that conversation is more relevant now
100%.
than it was like in 1995.
Agreed.
Right? So I just don't believe that anybody, and I mean anybody, should be paying a split to anybody. Because I just don't, until there's a brokerage out there that can correct me and say, no, Chris, look, this is how we're not just protecting our agent, but we're protecting them for the sustainability for the long term.
Heck yeah.
We're making sure that they're in business, not just today, but as long as they want to call it a career, we've got their back. And not just by having an office or a printer or a training room that they don't even have a calendar on. I need to see, if I'm going to spend 16 racks on you, how did you help me?
Correct.
It can't be the conversation where it's, hey, this is just the shitty side of business. You got to hang it somewhere. That excuse it's not valid anymore.
Yep.
Now we have to see something in return.
Agreed.
Okay. The market's tough. Even when it was great in COVID, it was still tough.
Yep.
We still had to figure out how we're going to get our offers accepted and how to compete with 30 offers and how to take our client from getting approved for $1 million to all the way up to $1.5 million, because that's how the price is driving, right? So yeah, I have a belief that if you have a brokerage, whether it's these big name brokerages or a small boutique independent shop, the attention needs to put on what are you giving? Or if you're going to take from the agents, how are you going to reinvest it back into their specific business? And I'll tell you why it's difficult. It's difficult because your journey is a lot different from my journey. My network is different from the other guy's network.
Correct.
And her network and his network. So you really have to pay attention. That's my thought, not to go on a rant.
Agree. No, you're absolutely right.
That glitz and glam is really the only thing left to sell. And as you kind of notice, I'm not saying this fell into your world, but that glitz and glam it's just not there. It's more smoke and mirrors.
I agree. And just to kind of add on to your point, it's kind of ironic that as real estate agents, we say that no two deals are the same. No two transactions are the same. We use DISC assessments to learn the personality of our customers, clients, so we can help them better. We realize from all different avenues and facets that not everybody is going to be the same and every situation is unique. Well, Chris, tell me, why the fuck is it that every brokerage is offering, again, like that template type strategy to every fucking agent that walks into their door? And to me, it just doesn't make any sense. On one side, you've identified that nothing is the same, but when these brokerages approach their agents, they offer to them kind of like the same thing for everyone. So I do agree that whatever you are putting in, you should be getting back out. And that's genuinely where I definitely agree with you.
So it's a struggle out there. Let's call it for what it is, right? A lot of buyers are sidelined, hoping that there's going to be a crash. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of buyers that are sidelined because affordability is just not in their wheelhouse.
Correct.
There's a lot of issues with inventory, but it's been like that for a few years now. How is Kamal Chohan dealing with that and still finding ways to get transactions, to find clients and get them into a house?
So most of my business, Chris, has become referrals. That's 1,000%. I think, for me, that's been my big one. So I'm just focusing on my referral business. I'm hitting up people in different professions. You definitely have to talk to somebody new every day. You'll always have to have a business card in your back pocket that you can hand out. So that's really what I'm doing. But I'm really taking this time as a time to plant my seeds. And I know my seeds will grow in the next 3 months or whatever it may be. So yes, it's a slow time now, but it's not going to be a slow time forever. So while everybody is kind of quitting or getting out, I can focus in and give a really, really good experience to my clients, they'll stick with me, not because I'm the smartest, but just because I can relate to them and I can give them exactly what they want. Something like communication. That's an easy one. I don't need to be an Albert Einstein to call someone back, right? So it's those little things that I am trying to do. I actually just closed a deal day before yesterday.
Congrats.
And thank you. That one was it was a 125. Now, what's nice about that, more than the transaction closing, more than the transaction itself, Chris, it was a referral. The customer was a referral to me from the bank. I'm a Chase Bank partner. I got this referral. And the beautiful thing, and this doesn't happen very common, but the beautiful thing was this customer client, 3 times when she visited an open house, an agent tried to poach her away from me. Now, here's the funny part, right? Because I can sit there and say those agents are pieces of shit, which they are. But what I did is I actually flipped that around and I said, Kamal, are you doing a good enough job to keep them if this were to happen again? So that in itself, it kind of pushed me to do a better job for them instead of focusing on, well, I already have her locked up. Let me focus on 10 others. And I'm so appreciative of her because she stuck with me. We closed the deal, got a better deal than what she wanted, and everything worked out great. So
you got a few things to uncover there. The big one is the fact that you took accountability rather than pointing the finger, because that's easy. It's so easy. I could do that 10 times a day. You could do it probably more than that. And there's a lot of agents that could probably do it more than even that. The fact that you looked inward, right? We had a podcast the other day. We're talking to a coach, and when do you realize that when an agent leaves your coaching program, at what point what do you say to him? And he went in and like, oh, maybe it wasn't a fit or this and that. And he asked me the same question, like, well, what did you say? You were a coach. And I said, I never said anything because I felt it was my fault. If I was a good enough coach for them, it's my job to adapt.
Why would they have left?
Right? It's just same thing as real estate. Like, if we go find a client, it's our job to adapt to them, not vice versa. So, first of all, I think that deserves a huge round of applause to say, hey, you're able to identify your own
Yes, thank you.
inward reflection to say, hey, before I ask why this agent's a piece of shit, am I doing everything I can to make sure that the client loves me, has been a raving fan based on my professionalism,
Correct.
my resource, my value. So, dude, I think that's great. The other thing you uncovered there was you were saying that you get a lot of business from referrals. You didn't start out with referrals. You started out with having to get them the client the first time around. What is, in your opinion, the magic button, the famous magic button that every real estate agent would love to have in their quiver? What's Kamal's magic button that got a new client? How did you get him?
Oh man! All right, so I don't want to come off as arrogant, pompous, or any of that.
Sure.
You've probably seen with my post, Chris, that I try to keep things a little on the lighter side.
Yeah.
So something I tell my clients is, look, if you're just having a bad day, you just want to talk to somebody, call me. Dude, I'll give you fucking like 10 jokes, like no problem. So there's something that, people don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. So that's something that I really try to go on. I'm not a pushy guy. If my client is feeling kind of the EBGBs, rather than saying, look, everything's going to be okay, put your head on my shoulder and cry. I don't do that shit. What I do is, well, let me ask you, like, what is it that you're kind of concerned about, or what are you worried about? And a lot of times it's just connecting with them. It's understanding where they're coming from rather than trying to be a salesperson and trying to manipulate their thinking. My thing is, well, how can I empathize and get into their thinking?
Yeah.
So I think that has been kind of my secret recipe, I would say, for a little bit.
It sounds to me like, if you want to like really layman this down, it comes down to genuinity, right? Having a genuine care.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Have to care.
So a lot of agents are exiting this business, and I mean a lot. I want to say, I could be wrong here. Don't hold my feet to the fire for all of you statisticians out there just ready to pound your keyboard. But something of the 60,000.
I heard
60. I want to say that's the number. 60,000 agents in California have already left the business just this year alone, and it could be more. I feel like that stat was like back in June, and here we are about ready to close out this damn thing. Mm-hmm. So I want to say it's probably higher than that. I don't want to speculate, but it's obvious reasons. How do you overcome it?
You have to have, somebody would told me that in sales, if you have a job mentality, you're gonna suck ass. If you have a career mentality, you're gonna survive. Has this year been tough? 1,000%. It's been one of those where I've had to challenge myself. I've had to hold off on maybe golfing as often as I was, for example, those little things. But what's really crazy to me is my outlook, like I said about planting seeds, my outlook is really screw right now. I mean, right now things are, things are going to happen, let it burn in a way. And then once everything is done, I'll go in and then bam, just kind of take over. So I've really been looking at this for like a 6 months in the future kind of deal. And that's frankly, I mean, even like I mentioned, I'm starting some things on the side, and a lot of that is to complement my business where I see it being in the future. So I'm doing things that would potentially supplement my future success and things that I can work on now that when basically it matches up at that right time, both are clicking. So I think right now is the time to be creative. Right now is the time to not cry because nobody gives a shit. Even yourself, right? A lot of times when people go in depression, it's because they're just disappointed in themselves. So I genuinely feel like if you really get your mind out of the gutter and you mind fuck yourself to say, dude, just, fuck all this. Like problems are going to be there. Fuck the problems, but let's think future. I think that's what a lot of people are not doing right now.
So funny. So, supplementing and doing side things, but you said it in a way that it says it's going to complement my future. I've always been the guy that told my agents, whether it's here at the brokerage or when I was coaching agents, you're never going to get wealthy selling real estate. This is meant to be a conduit to do something really big,
Makes
right?
sense. Absolutely.
If you look at the wealthy people in real estate, they didn't get there selling it.
No.
They got there buying it,
Yep.
right? So it's so funny. We see all these agents who are doing well. They do well. They're out there. They're promoting themselves. They got a great brand. They got a great business, but they've done nothing to lock that in so they don't have to go show houses at 75 years old.
Yep.
And you find those ones at this time going, oh shit, now what? Because we were so tunneled on how well we were doing. And I'm talking about the ones that are doing well, the ones that are happy, the ones that were going to events and listening to them talk. And they're the same ones that go, well, I didn't invest in shit, and now I'm still showing houses.
Absolutely.
I'm still trying to get a referral. Right. I'm still trying to get new clients. And the one thing that they're struggling is the fact that the way you got a client in 1990 sure as ain't the way you're doing it now.
Very true.
So you said that if you have a job mentality, you're not gonna get anywhere.
100%.
If you have an entrepreneur mentality, you're gonna survive.
Correct.
How do you know? How do you know when someone goes and gets their license, bro? They say to themselves, I want to work my own hours. I want to make my own money. I want to do things for me and my family. I want to be in control. On the surface, it sounds very entrepreneurial. Is that enough? How do you know if you've got an entrepreneurial mindset versus a job mindset? What are the things that you can recognize?
Oh, man. So in order to have that, Chris, you definitely, it kind of needs to take over your world in a way. It's kind of disgusting, but you have to do, it's so cliche, you have to be willing to do what others don't want to. The people that are exiting right now, you mentioned the 60,000, those are people that just aren't willing to do what they should be doing. Everyone else that is staying, they are not only working on their 8-hour shift, but they're working overtime. They're working on their marketing. They're working on their social media. They're doing edits. They're doing all of that stuff. When typically people shut off, there's some agents that I've met where they told me, Kamal, I shut my phone off at 5 o'clock, don't bother me. And I look at them and I'm like, go fuck yourself, because what the fuck kind of business is that? To me, those are the people that will be scrambling and saying, what am I going to do? I feel like people that are eating, sleeping, breathing. Evander Holyfield, his mom told him one time that, son, people are going to be stronger than you. People will be more handsome than you. People will be smarter than you or stronger, but don't let anybody outwork you. So you have to have a good balance. Like I have a family, I have 2 daughters. But genuinely speaking, I'm doing something to the tune of like 3 things that I'm working on currently, for income. So I think all of that stuff, you have to be able to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And there's too many morons out there that just basically buckle and fold when it comes to being uncomfortable.
I love that you're uncensored about that because it really needs to be driven home. So we're going to go through a speed round, Kamal. This is my favorite part of the whole interviews. You ready? First thing that pops into mind when I ask the question.
Yes, sir.
What's Kamal's favorite movie?
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Gladiator, Braveheart was another top one for me.
Favorite song?
Oh, man, I have so many, but let's go Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra.
Classy.
Yeah.
Keep it classy. Okay.
My wedding song, my wedding first dance, actually.
Okay, so it's got some emotional attachment to it. Favorite genre of music?
Oof. I change constantly, but I'm going to go with old school hip hop, man. Just old school, like just the legends.
So, bonus question. Favorite hip hop artist?
Oh, man. All right. So I love Black Star, Wu-Tang.
Woo.
Man. I mean, I could just go on, but I like Jedi Mind Tricks was up there. Just so many. Rashad was solid. Of course, I'm a Notorious B.I.G. guy, Tupac. I mean, just any of those. To me, it was like just identifying now with the lyric. You know what you were talking about earlier about how there's certain songs that as you listen to them now, that's what old school hip hop does for me.
Yeah.
And I think as I'm becoming an adult with bills and just see the injustices, it resonates a little bit.
So, from the time you're a kid to now, your favorite place to eat?
Ooh, my God. All right. So one of my top places, believe it or not. So there was this place in Toronto, Canada that still to this day, I think it's shut down, but till to this day, it was my favorite place. So I was born in Toronto, Canada. It was called Romeo and Juliet. And it was like this buffet of international foods. You walk in, beautiful, but in the restaurant, there was like different food stations according to the country. So you walk up to a chef, and then he has like 2 to 3 dishes on the table from the country. You walk up, you put your food, and you sit down, and it was amazing.
They used to have something similar at the Rio. I wouldn't go eat at the Rio.
Oh, crazy.
Save my
Okay.
ass. But it was like the Carnival of Worlds or something or other.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, don't go to the Rio now.
All right.
Shout out to the Rio. Do better. Do better.
Hey, hook us up with a seat, Rio.
No, don't. Do better.
Maybe this review will change on the next podcast. Who knows?
How do they get a hold of you, Kamal? We have a lot of clients out there that are constantly looking to get educated and look for new houses. How do they get a hold of the Kamal Chohan
get in
group?
Contact with Big Block, and they'll get in contact with me. I am on some social media, but definitely I'm excited because I feel like in the future I will be working more and more closely with Big Block. But if you guys do want to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, it's Kamal Chohan _realtor, and that's how you can find me.
Best. You watch the Scooty Scoo videos.
Oh yeah, I do.
Do your best Scooty Scoo.
All right. Whoever's not following my Instagram page is a buster because Scooty Scoo.
And that's how we end it at Ill Estate, the realest and illest real estate podcast out there today. Let's keep on hustling. Let's keep on motivating. Till next time.
Hey.